You are not tired because you lack sleep. You are tired because your energy is leaking. Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's greatest undefeated swordsman, did not live an easy life. He slept on cold floors. He walked for days without comfort. He fought duels where one mistake meant death. And yet, history does not remember him as exhausted. It remembers him as relentless, precise, and alive. Musashi understood something most people never learn. Energy is not physical first. It is mental, it is spiritual, it is disciplined. If you feel tired all the time, it is not because life is too heavy, it is because your mind is scattered. Musashi warned against this centuries ago. He said a warrior must not let the mind linger. A lingering mind drains energy faster than any labor. When your thoughts jump from regret to fear to comparison to distraction, you bleed strength without realizing it. Modern people wake up already tired, not because they work too hard, but because their minds never rested. You scroll, you worry, you replay conversations, you imagine futures that may never come. You fight battles that do not exist. And by the time the day begins, your spirit is already depleted. Musashi's first rule of energy was clarity. He believed that a warrior must see reality as it is, not as he fears it to be. This is why he trained himself to stay fully present. When you are present, energy flows. When you are divided, energy collapses. Most exhaustion comes from resistance. You resist where you are. You resist who you are becoming. You resist the discipline required of you. That resistance becomes fatigue. Musashi did not negotiate with himself. He acted. He woke when it was time to wake. He trained when it was time to train. He rested when it was time to rest. No drama, no internal debate, no wasted emotion. This is the second rule of Musashi's energy method, decisive action. Indecision is exhausting. Overthinking is exhausting. Waiting for motivation is exhausting. But action, even difficult action, creates momentum. And momentum creates energy. You do not get energy and then act. You act, and energy follows. Musashi also rejected excess comfort. He believed comfort weakens the spirit. When the body grows too comfortable, the mind becomes lazy. When the mind becomes lazy, everything feels heavy. Look at your life. Too much stimulation, too much noise, too many opinions, too many pleasures with no purpose. Your nervous system is overstimulated and under-directed. That is why rest doesn't refresh you anymore. You are not resting, you are numbing yourself. Musashi's life was simple, not because he lacked options, but because simplicity preserves energy. Every unnecessary choice drains willpower. Every distraction steals focus. Every indulgence without discipline weakens resolve. This is the third rule. Voluntary simplicity. When you reduce chaos, energy returns. Musashi trained not just the sword, but the breath. He understood that shallow breathing creates shallow strength. When you rush, panic, or live in constant tension, your breathing becomes weak, and so does your energy. Slow your breath. Slow your movements. Slow your reactions. A calm warrior lasts longer than a frantic one. Musashi also accepted fatigue when it came, but never identified with it. He did not say, "I am tired." He said, "Tiredness is passing through me." There is power in that distinction. You are not your exhaustion. You are not your mood. You are not your lack of motivation. These are states, not identities. The moment you identify with tiredness, you surrender to it. Musashi taught that the warrior observes the self, but is not ruled by it. And finally, Musashi lived with purpose. Nothing drains energy faster than a life without direction. When your days have no meaning, even rest feels empty. But when you are aligned with a path, when you know what you are sharpening yourself for, fatigue becomes tolerable. Purpose does not remove tiredness. It makes tiredness irrelevant. Musashi wrote that the true warrior walks his path even when weary, especially when weary. Because discipline is strongest when motivation is absent. So if you want to stop feeling tired all the time, do not chase hacks. Do not chase stimulation. Do not chase comfort. Do this instead. Silence your mind. Simplify your life. Decide quickly. Act without complaint. Breathe deeply. Live with purpose. Your energy is not gone. It has been misdirected. Reclaim it and you will realize this truth Musashi lived by. The disciplined mind does not run out of energy. It becomes energy. Fatigue comes from a scattered mind, not a weak body. Constant overthinking, worry and distraction drain energy faster than physical work. Mental clarity restores strength. Most people believe exhaustion comes from doing too much, but in reality it comes from being everywhere at once in the mind. The body can endure far more than we give it credit for. It can work long hours, carry heavy loads, and push through discomfort. What it cannot survive for long is a mind that never settles. When your thoughts are constantly jumping, replaying the past, fearing the future, comparing yourself to others, you are fighting dozens of invisible battles every day. None of them move you forward, yet all of them drain your strength. A scattered mind creates a constant state of inattention. Even when you sit still, your nervous system is working overtime. You are clenching mentally, bracing for problems that may never come. This is why people wake up tired even after a full night's sleep. The body rested, but the mind never stopped running. Energy leaks through worry, resentment, overanalysis, and endless self-talk. You feel depleted, not because life demands too much, but because your attention is divided. Decisive action creates energy. Indecision and waiting for motivation exhaust you. Taking disciplined action generates momentum and power. Indecision quietly drains more energy than hard work ever could. When you hesitate, debate with yourself, and wait for the perfect moment, your mind stays in a constant state of tension. You replay options, imagine outcomes, and question your own ability, all while nothing actually moves forward. This inner conflict is exhausting. By the time you finally act, if you act at all, much of your strength has already been spent. Most people believe they need motivation before they can move. They wait to feel ready, confident, or inspired. But that feeling rarely comes on its own. Motivation is not a spark that appears out of nowhere. It is a byproduct of motion. Musashi understood that action itself creates clarity and energy. He did not stand frozen, wondering if the timing was right. He moved decisively, trusting that movement would sharpen his mind and awaken his strength. Comfort and overstimulation steal vitality. Excess pleasure, noise, and convenience weaken the nervous system. Voluntary simplicity preserves energy. Modern life promises comfort as a reward for effort, but too much comfort quietly weakens the very energy you are trying to protect. When everything is easy, instant, and endlessly stimulating, the mind loses its edge. The body becomes sluggish, not because it is overworked, but because it is under-challenged. Musashi rejected excess comfort because he understood that a warrior softened by convenience loses sharpness, discipline, and inner fire. Overstimulation is the hidden enemy of energy. Constant noise, screens, notifications, entertainment, and opinions keep the nervous system in a state of alert without direction. You are always reacting, rarely choosing. This creates a low-level stress that never fully resolves. Even when you rest, your mind remains busy, scrolling, consuming, and absorbing without purpose. What feels like relaxation is often just distraction, and distraction does not restore strength. Calm breathing and presence sustain endurance. Slow breath, controlled reactions, and full presence prevent emotional and physical burnout. Most people move through life in a state of quiet urgency. Their bodies are tense, their reactions are fast, and their breathing is shallow. Even when nothing is wrong, they behave as if something is about to go wrong. This constant readiness drains energy at its source. The body interprets it as a signal of danger, keeping the nervous system in a prolonged state of alert. Over time, This becomes exhaustion that no amount of sleep seems to fix. Musashi understood that true endurance comes from calm, not from speed. A frantic warrior burns out quickly, a calm warrior lasts. Calm does not mean weakness or passivity, it means control. When the breath is steady, the mind follows. When the mind is steady, the body moves with efficiency instead of strain. Energy is preserved because nothing is wasted on unnecessary tension. Purpose makes tiredness irrelevant. A clear path and disciplined mission give meaning to effort, allowing you to move forward even when weary. Nothing drains energy more completely than waking up without a reason to move forward. When your days feel disconnected and directionless, even simple tasks become heavy. You may rest, distract yourself, or seek pleasure, but the tiredness remains. This is not physical exhaustion, it is spiritual fatigue. Without purpose, effort feels pointless, and the body reflects that emptiness through constant weariness. Musashi lived with a clear path. Everything he did was shaped by it. His training, his discipline, his restraint, and even his solitude were all in service of becoming sharper, more aware, and more complete as a warrior. This sense of direction gave meaning to hardship. When hardship has meaning, it no longer drains energy in the same way. It becomes something you move through rather than something that crushes you.